That's weird. Okay. Anyway, we'll start from here at least. Okay. So we were talking about the vowels, and I'll share my screen again. Okay. So you have the vowels. You have, so the and the the is just a sound, and the is just a sound. Okay. So which is why they get stuck onto the so as and the as and then you have r. This is like a motorbike. Okay, so it's not a re, it's not a ru, it's not a r, it is r. Okay, r, r. It's not re. It's a r. So imagine you're riding a motorbike. Okay, you imitating a motorbike as a child. That is the sound. That's the one. Okay. Now, what we need to remember here is, other than the the I, the U, and the R, everything, these are the only 4 short syllables. Everything else is long. A, I, U, E, I, O, Ow, all long. Is that clear? This is very important to remember, because when we go back to looking at the meters, at the chanda,
following the vowels.
Yes. So I'm going to stop sharing that, and I'm going to start sharing my PowerPoint again. Okay. Are you able to see that? Yeah. Okay, good. So when we say Lagu and Guru, Lagu is the short one. A, I, U, R. And we didn't look at the L because it's very rare. Okay. There's only one word in the whole texts that we come across. It's klupta. And so we will just ignore it for now. Okay. And when you look at Sanskrit texts, you'll find that when we're looking at meter, it is denoted by a big U. Okay. So we'll look at how this works. And then we have the long syllable, which is the guru, which are a, I, U, ru, ri, e, I, o, ow. Now this ri, the long r, again, is never ever used. So we can safely ignore it. Okay. So now when we are trying to identify what is guru and what is laghu in a verse, there is also a second criteria. When you have a short vowel, say a, followed by 2 consonants. Now, which are the consonants? The consonants are ka, kha, ga, ga, nga, cha, cha, ja, ja, nya. So everything else which is not a vowel is a consonant, right? So let's look at, and it's denoted by a dash, but let's look at an example, and that will make it more clear. So this is one of my favorite meters. It is called Vasanta Tilaka. Tilaka means head ornament. Vasanta, spring. So the head ornament of spring, which means it's a very light and beautiful, airy kind of verse. Okay, that's what the name is saying. And when you look at our verse, that's how it is. Chintamani prakara sadma sukalpa vriksha. So here, how do you see this? Chin. So how do you count the number of syllables? Could we turn our microphones off, please? There's some feedback coming in. Thank you. So what we do when we want to count the number of syllables in a line is we count the number of vowels. So which are the vowels? E, A, I, A, 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 R, and A. Okay? So you have chi, so the E, 1, ta, 2, ma, 3, ni, 4, pra, 5, ka, 6, ra, 7, sa, 8, ma, so dma, okay, 9, su, 10, ka, 11, pa, 12, vri, 13, ksha, 14. Okay. So you look at any line in the Brahma Samhita, and you will find that it's made up of 14 syllables. Okay. Now it's not enough that they are just made up of 14 syllables. They also need to fall into a pattern. And the pattern is given as, it must be Guru Guru Laghu, Guru Lagu Laghu, Lagu Guru Laghu. Okay, are you getting it? Lagu Guru. Okay, let's look at it, how that works. Chi. Okay. Now, is the E, is it short or long? Short, right? But then remember, we had a rule here which said a short vowel which is followed by 2 consonants, it becomes long. So now look at the next. So when it is short, what you should do is you should look at the next syllable. And there, do you see 2 consonants, n and th? Yeah, the n and the t. So the E becomes long. Okay. So although it is a short vowel, it is considered a guru or a heavy one. Does that make sense? Actually, I can't see anyone, so I'm going to stop sharing for a bit and look at everyone's faces. Yeah? Does that make sense at all? Okay. Okay. So now going back to sharing the screen again. Sorry, just a minute. Yeah. So you have the first one, the E, although it looks short, is actually long. It's guru. Okay. The second alphabet, the vowel, which is the second vowel? Ah. Now, ah is anyways guru, right? It is long. Okay. So you have guru, guru. Now, when you look at the bottom here, you have here, you have this here, okay? I've written it down so it's easy. GGL. Now the next one, M, okay? M-A, Ma, Ma. Now the A, is it Guru or Laghu? Laghu. Now why is it Laghu? Because although it is short, the next one to it is not a compound. It's not two syllables coming together, two consonants coming together, right? So it will continue to remain short. Okay, so you have chinta ma. Now next, ni. Is this long or short? It is short, but is it guru or laghu? When it is short, you immediately look at the next consonant. Are there two consonants? Yes. If there are two consonants, this becomes a guru. What about pra? Is it long or short?
Short.
Short. When it is short, you look at the next. Is it single or double?
Single.
Single, which means this remains
Short.
laghu. Short, laghu. Okay. Now, ka. Is that long or short?
Short.
Short. Now, is this the next one? Is there a single or a double?
Single.
Single. So does the ka remain laghu or does it become guru?
Lagu.
Lagu.
Laghu. Very good. It's still laghu. Laghu means short, means small, okay? Not heavy, light, okay? Now, ra. Is it long or short?
Short.
Short. If it is short, what must we do? We look at the next one. Now, is there one consonant or two?
One.
If it is one consonant, will it remain laghu or will it become guru?
Lagu.
Laghu. Very good. Very good. And sa. Now, is it long or short?
Long.
It is short.
Short. It is short. And what is happening next to it? The and ma. There are
It
two
becomes
consonants. So will it become laghu or guru?
Guru.
Guru. Excellent. Excellent. Now look at the ma. Okay. Now, is this short or long?
But more
Short.
short.
Because
Short. And next to it is
one short.
One.
one. So will this be laghu or guru?
Lagu.
Laghu. Very good. Very good. Su.
Lagu.
Laghu. Very good. Ka.
Lagu. A-L-L.
Yes, Lagu, but it will be Guru.
It will be guru.
L-P.
It is short. Okay. It is a hriswa swara, but it will become a guru because you have two consonants after it, a and p. Okay. So this ka will become guru,
Guru.
right? Now, this one, pa, what is it?
Lagu.
Lagu.
Everyone's clear? It's a lagu?
Yeah.
Yeah? It's laghu. It's laghu because the r is actually a vowel. Remember? Yeah, r is a vowel. So here you have a, which is short, and next to it you have only one consonant. So it is
Lagu.
laghu. And then you have the next one, vr. The r. Is it laghu or guru?
Guru.
Guru.
Guru. Excellent. Why? Because it's a r, it's short, but next to it is a k and a sh. Okay, so ksha. So that is guru. And the last one,
Lagu.
laghu. Usually they don't bother with the last one, so we don't worry about it. Okay. Now every line needs to follow that pattern. Okay. So Chintamani Prakara Sadma Sukalpa Vriksha. That's what it looks like. GGL, GLLL, GLL, GLGL. GGL, GLLL, GLGL, GLGG.
Rhythm now.
That's much better actually.
You think you can actually learn that? Believe me, it's most difficult.
I think Chintamani would be easy to learn.
Easier. It is easier. And why is it easy? You know, because there is meaning behind those words. Yeah, there is meaning behind those words. And now let's go forward. Okay, so this is 1 meter. Okay, Vasanta Tulika. We'll look at all the meters very shortly. Now, this is Anushtubh. Anushtubh is the most common meter. Okay? Almost all our verses in the Bhagavad Gita are in Anushtubh.
Mataji,
So,
I have a question.
yes.
So anytime in any, not just Brahma Samhita, but if in Bhagavatam or in Bhagavad Gita, if the meter is like Brahma Samhita, then we say that this is Vasanta Tilaka.
That is
Is
correct.
that? Okay.
Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Okay. Now, this is Anushtubh. Anushtubh is, our aham sarvasya prabho matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanditaha. 4 lines, 8 syllables each. Now, here if you see, I have 4 X's in the first. Do you see that? Yeah. And then you have a Lagu, Guru, and then 2 X's again. Now the X basically means it can be either Lagu or Guru, no problem. Okay. But you just have to make sure that the 5th in all the lines is, the 5th is Lagu, the 6th is Guru, and the 7th is Laghu in the 2nd and the 4th lines. Okay. So, however, we are not going to get too involved in all this. Now, I just wanted to, as a background to Anushtubh, it's very interesting. Now, most of the meters which come in the Vedas, I mean, the meters that come in the Vedas are, of course, apaurushaya, because they emanated from the Lord. But the Anushtubh meter is actually created by Valmiki. Now, this is the very first man-made meter. And that is why Valmiki is called Adi Kavi. Now, it so happened that he and his disciples were on a river bank, and he wanted to go and take a bath in the river. And at that time, he saw a couple of cranes, a male and a female, mating. And as he was watching, and it was very beautiful. The whole scene was just very, very beautiful. It was spring. Everything was just lovely. And suddenly, from behind, an arrow comes and kills the male. And the female looks at the male dying and cries out in pain and dies of shock. Seeing this, Valmiki is so heartbroken that he curses the hunter. So the first verse ever to be created in Anushtubh is a curse. Okay, and it goes like this: Ma nishada pratishtha tvamagama shashvati samaha yat krauncha mitunadekam avadhi kama mohitam. It says, O nishada, O hunter, you will find no rest for eternity because you killed a bird that was in love and it was unsuspecting. And then he goes back to his ashram. He's feeling really sad. One, because of the birds, and two, because he cursed. Okay, and he's thinking about this curse when he suddenly realizes that it's in a particular pattern. Okay, and as he's thinking about it, Lord Brahma comes to him, and he tells him, he says, "This is a beautiful meter that you have created. Now, in this meter, I want you to write about Lord Rama. Lord Ram has not yet appeared, but you will know the entire Ramayana in your heart. And I want you to compose it in Anushtubh." So this Anushtubh is also known as shloka. The meter itself is known as shloka. Shloka is derived from shoka because it is a manifestation of Valmiki's grief. Yeah. So most of our shlokas, of the verses that we come across, are in Anushtubh. Bhagavad Gita, most of it is Anushtubh. Yeah. There are some which are in Trishtubh. So what we are going to do now is we're going to look at some other meters, And for that, I have yet another document here. So I'd quickly like to share the screen here. Okay. So this table here gives you a quick overview of all the common meters, chandas, okay? So what we have here in this particular column here is under mapped sequence, we have 6x4, which means 4 lines of 6 syllables each, 7x4, 4 lines of 7 syllables each, Anushtubh, 4 lines of 8 syllables each, okay, and so on. So, and some of them are in red because these are the names of the meters which are quoted in the Bhagavatam as being the horses of Surya Dev. Okay, so these 7 meters, chandas, Gayatri, Ushnik, Anushtubh, Brihati, Pankti, Trishtubh, and Jagati are the horses of Lord Surya. Okay, so looking at Gayatri, we know what is the Gayatri. And we are not going to go into that because that is usually a mantra that is given when you're initiated and so on, okay? We won't worry too much about Gayatri. Ushnik is 7 syllables in a line and it's not very common. It's in the Vedas. Even in the Vedas, it's not very common. Okay, so we're not going to worry about that either. Anushtubh, we will look at those shlokas. We'll look at chapter 9, which gives us a good overview of what we want to do when we are reading those shlokas. Brihati is 9 syllables, and that again is very rare. Pankti is 10. It is uncommon, but it's found in the Shikshashtakam. And so if we have time, we'll look at that. Okay. Trishtubh is 11, and we find that in a lot of places, especially in the Bhagavad Gita as well, as the Guru Ashtakam, the Chaurashtakam, Gopi Gita, everywhere, Bhagavatam. Then there is Jagati, which is 12. That is also in Shikshashtakam, and the Damodarashtakam. Damodarashtakam is 12, okay? And then you have 13, which doesn't appear to be used very much at all. So there are no examples of it even. 14 is Vasanta Tilaka, your Brahma Samhita. 15 and 16, again, not much. There are no examples as far as I could see. 17 is Mandakranta, and so Atyashti. Now, the reason there are so many, this particular column here, varieties, tells you how many varieties of that meter there are. So Gayatri has 11 varieties, Ushnik has 8 varieties, Anushtubh has 12 varieties, of which shloka is the most common, okay? Then Pankti has 14 varieties. So there are 2, Vyogini and Sundari, which are used in Shikshashtakam. Trishtubh has 22 varieties, and I have listed out a few here: Indra Vajra, Viparita Khyaniki, Rajahamsi, Upajati, Buddhihi, and Prema. Jagati has 30 varieties, okay? And I've listed out 3 there. Shakkari, under which Vasanta Tilaka comes, has 20 varieties. Atyashti has 17 varieties, and so you have Jagannatashtakam, and verses like Naham Vipro na Patir Napi Vaishyo na Shudro, those verses coming in under Mandakranta. Then the beautiful Shardula Vikritam, the Shad Goswami Ashtakam, Krishnot Kirtana Gana Nartana Parau, right? That one, okay? And then there is also the nectar of instruction, comes in Shardula Vikriditam. And there are different tunes you can use for Shardula Vikriditam. So the one, nectar of instruction is which one? Vaikunta Janito Varamadupuri Tatrapi Rasotsavat Vrindaranya Mudara Pani Ramanat Tatrapi Govardhanaha. So that's another tune which you can use again for the same Shardula Vikriditam. Yeah. And then we have Prakriti, which is 21 syllables in a line, 21 syllables. And that is our Vandeham, Shri Guru, Shri Yutapada Kamalam, Shri Guru and Vaishnavamscha. That's 21 in one line. Yeah. So again, there are not too many examples of that. So I will be posting all this out to everybody, so you can have all these as handouts. Don't worry about it. I'm going to now show you how these chandas actually work. So let's actually, do you have your Bhagavad Gitas with you? Yeah. Are you able to open to chapter 9? Yeah. And I'll open it up as well.
Which verse, Mataji?
The very first one. Okay. Now, when it comes to reading verses, okay, it's very important that we read them correctly. Otherwise, we're going to be memorizing them all wrong. And more importantly, we won't be able to memorize because they won't fit into the meter. Yeah. So when we start off here, just look at this. We go, idam tu te guhyatamam pravakshamanasuyave jnanam vijnana sahitam yajñatva mokshase shubhat. Now, some points to note. Idam tu te, okay, it is not tu te, okay. The tu is short. Normally, what do we say? Idam tu te guhyatamam. Why? Because we are trying to fit it into a tune. And in the process, what are we doing? We are ruining the meter. Remember, if we say tu, if it's idam tu, it becomes long, right? Which means it becomes guru. Instead of a laghu, you're converting it into a guru, which means you have just ruined the meter. Okay. And te is long. When you see the best way to do this then is not focus on the short, but focus on the long. Anytime you see a long syllable, exaggerate it. Okay. Why? Because the long is supposed to be twice as long as a short when you pronounce it. Okay. So, idam tu te guhyatamam pravakshyamana suyave. Okay. So, everything that's long, just elongate it. Be really, just play with it. Make it really long. Jnanam vijnana sahitam yajñatva mokshashe shubhat. And in that way, your pronunciation will be absolutely perfect. Okay. The second thing to note, you see in pravakshyam anasuyave, you see pravakshyami anasuyave, correct? Now, in the word for word, it is actually pravakshyami with an I. But when you look at the verse, it's actually pravakshyami with a Y. The Y is a ya, okay? So ya is a consonant. So the I, which is a vowel, has changed into a consonant. So do not say pravakshyami anasuyave, because what have you done then? You have introduced an extra vowel, which means you have introduced an extra syllable, which now throws the meter off completely. Does that make sense? So when you see a Y, always you will see that next to the Y, there is a vowel. So add the Y to that vowel. So you go, what you should do then is pravakshyam yanasuyave. Take the Y into the next word. So anytime you see a word ending with the Y, move it to the next word. Okay? Now, third point. Look at the last line. You see yajñātva mokshyase. There is a apostrophe shubhat. Okay? And in the word for word, you'll see that it is a shubhat. But actually, the apostrophe is just to indicate that there was an A. We are not supposed to pronounce that A. Because again, if you pronounce the A, what are you doing? You're introducing a vowel. You're introducing a syllable. And that throws the whole pattern off. So if you were going yajñātva mokshase ashubhat, it doesn't even fit. So yajñātva mokshase shubhat. Okay. So this is just like, in English, you have the don't. D-O-N apostrophe T. Yeah. It is to indicate that there was an O over there. But we do not say do not. When we read D-O-N-T, we do not say do not or do not. If you're really hungry. So yajñātva mokshase shubhat. Okay. Yes. Okay. Now let's look at the next shloka, 9.2. So would you like to repeat this after me? Rajavidya Rajaguhyam
Rajavidya Rajaguhyam
Pavitram idam uttamam.
Pavitram idam uttamam.
Now here you see the ma, pavitram idam uttamam. So run it all together. Pavitra midam, pavitra midam uttamam. So pavitra midam uttamam.
Pavitram idam uttamam.
Correct. Okay. Pratyakshaavagamam dharmyam.
Pratyakshaavagamam dharmam.
Susukham kartumavyayam.
Susukham kartumavyayam.
Excellent. Does that make sense? Yeah?
So whenever Mataji, there is a repetition of 3 or 4 times in a syllable line, then the consonant takes to the next word.
So if there is a word that ends in the M moves to the next word. Because the reason it is sitting there like that is because there is a vowel next to it. Okay. So when you see a vowel next to it, so look at the first line, Rajavidya, Rajaguhyam, it finishes there. Okay. So that is not going to go to the pa. Right? Because it's not a vowel. But then look at Pavitra Midam Uttamam. So next to it is a vowel. E is a vowel, U is a vowel. Pavitra Midam Uttamam. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And similarly, fourth line, Susukham Kartumavyayam. Yeah.
Susukham kartumavyayam. So kartum Kartumavyam.
Yes. Kartumavyayam.
Kartumavyayam.
Yes.
Avyayam.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So let's maybe do one more. Okay. Look at the next one. Ashraddhadhana Purusha.
Ashraddhadana Purusha.
Now here you see the sitting out here in the middle. Ashraddhadhana Purusha. So the there is just a small puff of air. So you cannot just go Ashraddhadhana Purusha. You can't run it all together because there is an okay. So there has to be a pause. Ashraddhadhana Purusha.
Ashraddhadana Purusha.
Dharmasyasya parantapa.
Dharmasyasya parantapa.
Aprapya mam nivartante.
Aprapya mam nivartante.
Mrityu samsara vartmani.
Mrityu samsara.
Now here, the best thing to do is try and run all the words together. Because that's what Sanskrit does. It just, because if you look at the Sanskrit, the Devanagari, you'll find long words. In fact, these spaces and everything have been introduced only in recent times. If in Vedas, actually, there are no punctuations, there are no dashes, there are no punctuations, there are no full stops, there are no spaces even. It just goes, you're just supposed to learn it. And you know where the breaks are. Okay. So this is Anushtubh. Okay. So what you will need to do is you will need to go away and practice. Any questions around Anushtubh? Because this is the one that's most common. Okay. Now, after that, we come to the 11 syllables, Trishtubh.
Mataji,
Yes.
how do we recognize that this is Anushtubh? Just by 4 lines?
4 lines, 8 syllables.
8 syllables.
So now the funny part is, having said that, if you look at 9.1, the first line is actually 9 syllables, which could throw you off, but the others are 8 syllables. So if you want to try, would you like to try counting the first line? Why don't you do it, Radhapadma Mataji, of 9.1?
Idam.
No,
Idam.
so go
Dam.
Dam,
Tu. Te.
Tu, Te.
Tu. Te. So 4 syllables now,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Gu,
Gu. Ya.
Ta,
6. The. Mam.
Mam.
8.
I, da, tu, te, guh, ya, ta, mam. Oh. I, da, tu, te, guh, ya, ta, mam. Oh, it is 8. Sorry. I miscounted it. Yeah. Okay.
Acha, Mataji, if the first section is 8, the rest of the thing is going to be 8. Is it like that?
Yes, usually. Okay, now let's look at 11 syllables, which is the next most common in the Bhagavad Gita. It is also there in our Guru Ashtakam. Yeah. So coming back to the screen, are you still able to see the screen?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so coming back to the screen, you have 11 lines per syllable. Guru Ashtakam, which is in a meter called Indra Vajra. Okay, it is a strong meter. And each of these meters actually will now start to give you an idea of what is coming inside the verse. Okay, so you have Indra Vajra, which is a strong meter. What does the Guru do? He breaks down all our barriers. What does Indra's vajra do? It breaks down all the barriers. Okay, and it's a strong samsara dava nalalidha loka tranaya karunya ghana ghanatvam. So it's like, it's all strong, strong, strong. Okay, the whole meter is strong. And the pattern, I've put it down at the bottom there. So it's Guru Guru Lagu, Guru Guru Lagu Lagu Guru. Now comes actually the most amazing of meters. Okay, you might know the Chorashtakam, right? Choragraganyam Purusham. We are supposed to be reading it during our Purushottam Mass. Now the first verse. Vraje prasiddham navanita chauram gopangana nam cha dukula chauram aneka janmarjita papa chauram chauragraganyam purusham namami. Now, this is in a meter. This is also 11 syllables, okay? It is in a meter called Viparita Akyanaki. What does Viparita mean? Viparita means opposite. Okay. Akyanaki means narration or story. What are we doing in this particular verse? We are saying, oh, there is a thief. He steals butter. He steals the gopis' clothes. And what do? I bow down to him. Isn't that an opposite? What a beautiful meter. And the poet, Bilamangal Thakur, has actually selected this meter to compose this particular verse. And then if you look at the 6th verse of Chorashtakam, it is in a meter called Maya. What does Maya do? Maya binds us. What does Krishna do? Chinatsi ghoram yamapasha bandham Bhinatsi bhimam bhavaparsha bandham Chinatsi sarvasya samasta bandham Naivatmano bhakta kritam tu bandham. He is able to break the bandha, the ties of what? Yama pasha, the ropes of Yama. Bhava pasha, the samsara, the material world. He is able to break the ties of the material world. He is able to break all ties, but he is unable to break that tie which his devotee binds him in. And this particular verse is called Maya. He breaks Maya, but he is under Maya when it comes to his devotees, under Yoga Maya. How wonderful is that? I mean, see, once you start to realize these meters and you start to realize the meaning behind them and how they relate to the verse, automatically that's another layer of memory that's being formed. Right? So let's look at the Gopi Gita. Okay. Now this is also in 11. So how does it go? It's in a meter called Rajahamsi. Jayati te dhikam janmana vraja shrayata indira shashvadatrahi daita drishyatam dikshutavakas tvaidhrita savas tvam vichinvate. Now, I've got the meter down here. It's LLLGGG, whatever. But what you need to appreciate here is in each of these verses, okay, they all consist of 4 lines. Now look at the first syllable of each line, okay? The first and the 7th syllable on each line, which is the first one, ja. Okay? Ja, ya, ti, te, dhi, kam. 7th, J. Okay? The first and the seventh will be the same. Jayati te dhikam janmana vraja Shrayata indira shash shashvadatrahi dayita drishyatam dikshutakas
Interesting.
tvayita savas tvam vichinvate. These gopis were not ordinary beings. I mean, look at the beauty of this composition. It is in perfect meter, plus it's got these beautiful embellishments. Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam kavibhiridhitam kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Srimadatam Bhuvi Grinanti Ye Bhurida Jana. Isn't that beautiful?
Beautiful.
Okay.
Amazing.
Now, that is one. Now, there is a second one. The second consonant in all the 4 lines are the same. Ja, yati, tedikam, shra, yata, indira, da, ita, drishyatam, tvayi, tritashavas, tava, kathamritam, kavibhiriditam, shravana mangalam, bhuvi grinanti te.
Wow.
How beautiful is this? Now, do you realize the level of, okay, to create something like this, we're actually running out of time. Okay, so maybe we need to have a second session around this. So if it's okay with everybody, we'll have a second session maybe next week again on Monday. Yeah. So we'll do a second session again where we can go through all the remaining shlokas as well and all the remaining meters. But I think this gives you a small taste, doesn't it?
Definitely.
A small taste of how beautiful, incredibly beautiful the language is and how we can use that to our advantage when it comes to memorizing. Okay? Because when we begin to see the beauty in it, our interest is also piqued. Yeah. And then it becomes a little less of a chore to pick up that book and look at that verse, because now you're beginning to see the beauty in that verse. Yeah. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to stop here, and any questions, anybody? No? And somehow
It is so beautiful. We enjoyed like every moment of it.
Oh, thank you. I'm really sorry. The first about 40 minutes odd seems to have disappeared. We haven't recorded it.
Oh.
Yeah, it didn't record. So maybe what I'll do is I'll recap next week when we, so I'll recap that first little bit next week. So at least it's there in the second recording. Okay. But yeah, next week we'll definitely look at more shlokas, more meters, and believe me, there is so much more coming up. There is just, it's lyrical. It's just, words fail me. So we'll look at it next week. Is that all right?
Awesome. Yes, please.
Okay.
When you were singing the Samsara Dava with that, you were saying the syllables, I had the goosebumps and I was like, what's happening? It's amazing.
Yeah, so next week, what we'll also do is just remind me to take an example of a composition. So if we were to try composing, if we were to try and become a kavi, okay, how easy is it? Or how difficult is it? Well, nigh impossible, probably. We'll look at it next week. Okay, so maybe you could come up with, we won't even go 4 lines, we'll just come up with 1 line that we'll try and fit into a meter. Okay, so just come up with, maybe you can put it up on our WhatsApp group to say, oh, why don't we look at this particular line? You know, maybe it's something like Jai Radha Giridhari or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we want to say Jai Radha Giridhari. And we'll see if we, in those meters that we have, if we can fit it into any one of those meters, just those syllables. Radha Giridhari Jayatu. Okay, that's all we want to say. Radha Giridhari Jayatu. Or Jayatu Radha Giridhari. That is all we want to say. And we'll see how, if we can fit it into any meter. I think that'd be very interesting. So why don't you all do one thing for me as homework? Radha Giridhari Jayatu. I want you to break it up and do Lagu and Guru for me.
Radha Giridhari
Jayatu. Jayatu.
Jayatu Radha.
Yeah. 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 So Radha Giridhari Jayatu. So you know which is long, which is short. So you just have to tell me which is, so what is the pattern? Is it Guru, Guru, Lagu, Lagu, whatever. Okay. You have to tell me the pattern and we'll try and fit it in. So next week, what we'll do is we'll first look at all the different meters and then we'll try and fit it into one of the meters. And then we'll figure out how easy or difficult it actually is to do something like that. Does that make sense? Okay.
Radha Giridhari.
Jai.
So thank you all
Wow, thank
so
you.
much for your patience
Mataji.
with my
Wow.
fumbling around.
It was fascinating.
It is transcendental, a little bit of transcendental of what we're feeling.
Yeah.
That is the magic of Sanskrit. It is the Lord's own language. I mean, it's his breath.
Mm.
You know how
Full of
how
rasa,
is that?
full of everything.
Yes.
That's just like a window, a trailer of like a bit of like few seconds of delving into the verses and seeing how beautiful these verses are. We have not actually taken a lot of things, but whatever, it was like amazing.
Yes.
I mean, imagine if we actually know so many things, we would just love these verses like.
Exactly. And here I'm not an expert at all. At all. You know.
Wow, you are Mataji.
So no. This is just a little bit of knowledge. I mean, there are experts out there, and maybe next week I'll try and tell you about, okay, when we are actually trying to put a verse into a meter, at that time I'll try and tell you about these experts that I've heard of. Okay. I mean, the caliber of their knowledge, that more than knowledge, it is the Lord's Shakti in them. So it's not something that can just happen. It just doesn't just happen.
Yeah.
So we'll look at all that next week. So till then, Namo Namaha.
Thank you. Hare
Hare
Krishna. Thank you so much.
Bharatrihi.
Shubharatri.
Shubharatri.
Hare Krishna, Shubharatri, Mataji.
Shubharatri.
Thank you.